I have a friend, and actually, it is a very good student of mine, young lady who was diagnosed with cancer over a year ago. Uh, they found polyps, and not polyps, but fibroids in her uterus, and they were so bad that they compromised uh, one of her kidneys. And she doesn't have full function of the kidney because it was being pushed against the walls of another organ as a result of the cyst or fibroids. And they found this in there, and initially they didn't know it was cancerous. So they began to send her through some tests, a battery of tests, and they did a biopsy of a mass that they found in her uterus, and it turned out to be cancerous. So she underwent surgery for a few hours, and they removed the majority of the mass, and they stated that she had bled so much from that surgery that they didn't want to continue to remove all of the mass because she may have well died from bleeding to death. So she survived, and they gave her a period of time to heal, and they wanted to go back in and check and see if the remainder of the mass had grown. So it had not, but it was still cancerous, what was remaining, that is. So they decided to administer chemotherapy for several weeks to see if they could shrink and or kill the cancer cells. And at the end of this period, after she lost the hair on her head, I should say, mind you that she was in good spirits the whole time. Didn't appear to be depressed and angry at the fact that she had to undergo this. And that's pretty much her personality anyway. But anyway, at the end of this chemotherapy treatment, the mass was still there and nothing had changed. So they began to administer radiation for some weeks. And the side effect, of course, of the chemotherapy and the radiation, one of them is the loss of hair, okay? And the other one is you become extremely weak. And after the radiation, come to find out, the conclusion was the same. No positive results. The only result still was that she was still weak. No appetite, couldn't keep food down, couldn't walk her normal routine throughout the house, couldn't get in the automobile and drive herself to the store. She became very dependent upon family members to assist her. So much so, she ended up wearing gloves on her hands all of the time and a mask every day, and having to make sure she keeps shoes on her feet and not be exposed even to her own pet dog or trash in the house or anything that was a possible breeding ground of germs and or bacteria. That's a terrible life to live. But anyway, at the end of the radiation again, they decided to start to administer chemotherapy again. And as of this particular video, she's still going through the chemotherapy. And the last time I talked with her, which was just a couple days ago, she sent me a message stating that she had to be hospitalized because of a terrible headache and being very, very weak, and something else as a result of that. So her white blood cells were so low, they wanted to keep her under observation in the hospital. So I asked her a question a few weeks back, and I said, you know me. I said, I'm teacher, and you're my student and my friend. I said, how do you feel going through this process? And she told me she wanted to trust in the process. She said it seemed that the doctors cared. It seemed as though they were very professional and that they had a genuine concern for her health and care. Now here's me. She knows me. She knows what my belief is as it relates to the government, the food industry, all of these things that have a tendency to change and or alter our lives in a negative way forever. I'm vehemently against chemotherapy and radiation for cancer cure. I think cure is the wrong word. I just chose the wrong word because it doesn't cure anything. I want to tell you this. When we were all born, we were given a magnificent, spectacular body that is self-sustaining. It heals itself.